G'day and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Duckville here. Welcome to a StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm replay cast. Today, on a very warm day here in Melbourne. It's 27th of November, and interestingly, it was 27 degrees before. Now it's 33 degrees. That's in Celsius for those of you playing in America or something like that. But yeah, it's a pretty hot day, so I'm going to try and get some casts done while it's early on in the morning. What we're going to do is we're going to have a look at a best of 3 series between two pretty damn good C players. This is taken from the C Championship Series, which was hosted over the weekend just gone by, which was the 25th of November, of course. Same month because, well, that's, we don't jump months after a couple of days anyway. The event was, of course, basically a kind of like your MLG Anaheims, where it's like the end of the year tournament where you have lots of big stuff going down by players that were playing in the tournament that had accrued a vast amount of C Championship points, which are given to players across the year that compete in some of the various events we have here in C. Now, this is not just stuff that's open to C players. There are a lot of foreign players who also have been competing across the year. Major, Desro. We also had a few Koreans. We've had Hart. Arthur, who has done really well across the year. Tefel was also in this tournament, and there were quite a few others. So there were some really big plays throughout this tournament. On the weekend, we had a 2-day finals championship sort of thing, with the final bracket being on the Sunday. And this particular series was taken from the day 2 sets, unfortunately, with the streams being myself, and then also the Base Trade TV stream with Rivkin. And I believe Zeph was also casting. There was no room to cast this one, so I am going to cast this one here from the replays, just to give you guys another interesting Zerg versus Terran to watch. Make sure you are, leaving comments, subscribing to the channel, all those cool sorts of things, so that I know you guys are interested in watching all these sorts of games. Like, I know a lot of other casters have sort of not been doing as many replay casts these days, just sort of like, especially the big names, Husky and some of the other big guys like Total Biscuit and whatever, just not doing as much replay content. So if you are, enjoying some of the work that I'm putting in, please, do leave some comments, share with your friends in particular. Like, I really would appreciate if you could share on Twitter and Facebook and all those cool sorts of things, Reddit, all that awesome stuff as well, just so that, people can know that there are still some replay casters that do work out there. So, as I said, our 2 players will be a Zerg and a Terran down here in the bottom right-hand side. He has been representing the C region and, of course, his home country of New Zealand in the American WCS Challenger League during some of the seasons of 2013 WCS. It is Frenetic Array's Petraeus. He is a very, very good Zerg player, a very young player as well. He's only 17, if I remember that correctly. I hope that's right, Pet, and I'm not aging it up or down too far. Yeah, he's one of the very young Zerg players that we have. Wow, look at that micro. Sending one particular link back, the rest were getting a little bit low. But I mean, he's a wonderful player and is a treat to watch. You can jump onto his stream at twitch.tv/0Petraeus0. That's the number 0, not the letters. And he has a really high quality stream as well. Not only like in terms of the visual quality of the stream, but oh wow, Terran just sort of misplaced that there. But also does some commentary as well while he's playing. So you can figure out how to be a GM Zerg as well. Our Terran player up at the top left-hand side does a little bit of streaming himself. He is from Sydney, Australia. It is Frenetic Array's Iaguz. So we are going to have a little bit of a team kill here, unfortunately for these two. This was from the upper bracket, round 3, if I remember correctly. And yeah, these two guys do meet quite a lot, like very, very often. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've casted more series of these two against each other than almost anyone else I've done casts of before. So this is a pretty predictable not predictable as in I know exactly what they're going to do, but the general layout of how the games go with these two guys. They are quite evenly matched. I do believe Pet has a slight advantage, I think. It sort of depends on maps as well, because some of the maps, Iaguz is just an absolute beast on. This being one of them, he is fantastic on Belshire. The thing about this particular map is, of course, that you can secure a third base over here, and once you get that going, then normally a Terran player will start to just, you know, rally all of their forces across to the Zerg base at the 4th. Normally you want to get in here, you set up some Widow Mines in these little positions just over here to zone out the Lings and the Banes and that kind of thing, while your Marines and maybe Marauders just sort of push in. But we are going to have a little bit of a different opening. According to the production tab, I can see that we do have a Marauder on the way. Will Petraeus be able to see this? I don't think... Oh, he would have seen that one Marauder that's already in there. So this does look like it's going to be a slightly different play here, with lots of Hellions and a couple of Marauders coming out here from Iaguz. He is going to have an interesting force. This is something which Terran players do bring out onto the table every now and then, a little bit of a Hellion Marauder push. Now what this is designed to do, of course, the Hellions are designed to take care of these light units, the Lings, because they do that extra damage against them. They also can do quite well against the Banelings, and the Marauders are here to take care of static defense. Of course, the Spine Crawlers maybe snag a Queen or two every now and then, and you know, this push can be quite deadly, especially once that stim is researched and the units start pushing out. This can catch people off guard every now and then, but I think Petraeus may be aware of it. He has got his Carapace and melee attacks on the way, just normal sort of stuff here from our Zerg player. He is also getting his lair on the way. It should be ready for the attack hits. I think well, it sort of depends when Iaguz is going to push. As you can see, part of the reason that we know this is going to be a slightly earlier push, that command center has only just now gone up. And normally, the general sort of economic play in Terran versus Zerg is, you know, you get one, you'll get your first CC down at the natural, then you'll get the third one very shortly after, so that you can establish a really good economy here with that third base up and running, and then start cranking out Marines and Marines and Marines and just keep going all day. So we will have the push now coming along here from Iaguz. Will Pet be prepared? We'll find out, because these Zerglings are here. Of course, the Banes are available as well. 12 more Lings are being built for the Zerg player, and we can see that he has a little bit of creep spread, so we will be able to see some things that are going on. In fact, this Overlord is a bit of a hero. He knows that the forces are just approaching from this side. Now, this is a very careful tactical position here, because if Iaguz pushes too far, Lings will come around the back and surround him. In fact, that is exactly what he tries to do here. Swooping in, there are those Lings. It looks like the Marauders and the Marines are going to back off, though. Just a few too many units here, just well prepared. Now, this has forced Petraeus to you know, drop a few drones here. Normally, you know, 65 is actually pretty good. So, I mean, he has gotten his economy into an excellent position, like, before this attack has occurred. But he will be looking to possibly look at getting another base very soon, but may want to just make sure he's all secure. Wants to double check, is our Terran player still actually looking at getting a third base? We've got this one covered by some creep at the moment, so he should be okay to see if anything's going to happen on that scale here. But it looks like, yeah, Drone is going to head out to the 4th, and Petraeus will look to establish that base and continue expanding his economy, which is always a very important thing in this matchup. You never want to be even, or especially behind on bases against the Terran, because these guys are just absolute terrors. Once they have their third base up, you'll see the eBay's researching upgrades here. 1-1 is now just about completed here for Iaguz. He's got his armory also just about finished up, nicely synced up there. We will start to get some medevacs on the way as well, but there will be a battle here just outside the 4th base of Petraeus. The Hellions across to the side are doing a little bit of micro, but it looks like the main forces up on the top of the cliff have been taken out, and with the mines and the medevacs now starting to come out here, Iaguz just needs to be a little bit careful with his forces, and then he can start up the Terran terror train of Marines, mines, and medevacs starting to push forwards towards the 4th base. So he's done it, you know, he lost a few forces there, which wasn't wholly the best sort of thing, but I mean, he's taken his third base. We will start to see more minerals coming in here, and for our Zerg player Petraeus, mutas have now hit the field. So we are going to have these guys just roaming across the map. Of course, if you know, normally this is your basic sort of setup for a Zerg player. They want to have 3 and then a quick 4th base as well, so that they can get these mutas up and running. These guys are fantastic for map control, getting out there, making sure that the Terran is pinned back for a little while. As you can see, Iaguz forced to build up some static defense here. A turret and a bunker are going to be completed shortly, but the mutas will not be able to get too far. The 1-1 Marines with their stim are a little bit too powerful to contend with for the moment, especially with that sort of small group of mutas at this point. So Petraeus will just continue to up his Baneling count. The Ling's also on the way as well. Now, Petraeus does play a little bit of a different style to some of, some various Zergs. You get different types of Zerg play. You can have really reactive, like reading what's going on and then adapting a composition to suit it, or you can have Zerg players that are very, very execution-based. They'll go for particular styles and then say, I'm doing this, I don't care what you're doing, I'm really good at this particular style because I do it game after game after game. But Petraeus is much more of a reactive kind of player. He will adapt his compositions to deal with the various threats that he's facing. And as you can see, he will have to deal with some Widow Mines, a few Marauders, and a bunch of Marines that do have 1-1 that are approaching on the western side of the map right now. Lynx are going to go in the back, trying to soak up some of the Widow Mines, and we can see that the Banelings roll through the front and actually destroy a lot of the Widow Mines. Iaguz actually, wow, he's very lucky to have kept a couple of these alive, but the Banes and the Lings are now a little bit lower in their maximum sort of firepower right now, so Iaguz has time to set up. We'll see some wonderful splits there. Even single Marine splits. That's incredible stuff there from the Terran player, but he is going to now face the wrath of a lot of Banelings now pushing through from Petraeus. So many Banelings now just rolling around the place, going up the hills, taking out the Marines, and even all of those Widow Mines have now been taken out. So this does not bode too well for the Terran player Iaguz, the Gimli Terran as he is known here in the local scene for his gorgeous dwarven locks that adorn his head. But now Petraeus is just going to smash through the rest here. This is pretty much lights out, because once you get into this sort of position with those mutas, you're able to fire on these supporting units. That does not bode too well for a Terran player. I mean, look at Iaguz is struggling to get up some more production facilities right here. A little bit of a different sort of execution at the start of the game. That Marauder Hellion push was a little bit different to what I normally see from Iaguz. But we'll go into game number 2 in just a moment and find out if Iaguz can fight back. The next game will be on Akalon Waste. I'll see you there in a second. Here, as you can see, 47 damage to bio units and then the 34 damage against other standard targets. His storms have also been wonderful, just spreading them out across the battlefield, doing really, really nicely there. And for minigun, he's been sticking with a much more